Hi everyone, welcome to Harvest 2024. If you're a regular viewer to the channel, you probably wonder where I've been, which the answer to that is nowhere, just right here working. Family, kids, full-time work, it's easy to lose track of time. Additionally, the content I do put out, I want to make sure it's factually accurate and worthwhile of viewing. And produce content like that takes time. I've probably watched more YouTube in the last 6 months than I've produced. And I did have some videos in production that were just never finished. But enough of you have contacted me wondering where I've been, so I felt it's time to get back in the habit and bring you along. There are things on YouTube I would like to show you and can't, so for protections, I have to be somewhat selective with the content I produce. However, most of the content that you have been seeing will continue to be produced. Now, if you see anything new in the videos and have any particular questions, they may not always be answered in the comments below, but you're always free to contact me, and the best way to do that is through my email, which multiple of you are already talking to me through. If you guys remember the 4850 that I'd fixed up, here's a little update on that tractor. You can see it all complete with new tires, painted rims, extra rear weights, painted front weights. It's finally officially done, besides putting the original toolbox on. I was just short one bolt of completing that task when I shot this little clip. Picture of the combine with corn head that you just saw prior to this video clip was this combine. This is a 2011 John Deere 9870, which we have equipped with 710 and 70R 38 duals. This is a 635F platform head, auger head, which if you're a video viewer of this channel longer term, you've already seen the 635F. We are officially out of the hay business. Whether we get back into it or not, I don't know. As of right now, no. I have sold the hay tools and am investing more into the row crop acres. Part of that investment is just improving the land, which you can see how steep our ground is, and the need for terrace and tile, fertility. Why the 9870? 9870 I felt was one of the best machines, well, 70 series in general, one of the best machines that John Deere ever produced. Always liked them, liked the older cab a lot better than I do at least the early 600s. There's a big difference between an early 600 and a late 600 series combine, and I don't particularly care for any of the 600 series, to be honest. Anything with a Deere with a 6 in it, 60 series or 600 series, skip it. Go to anything with a 7 in it, which would be 70, or jump to a 700 series. And we'll talk about those models and options and things more in a separate video. But as to why this 9870, we're buying several older pieces of equipment. I'll show you here. Just trying to get out of the leases. Prior to 2017, or around that time frame, that's kind of when I transitioned back into farming. Some of the things my father was doing are not what I would do, and some of the equipment was not up to par. I felt newer equipment was necessary for increased production, and the only way to afford that for our operation was through lease, and lease options are a good option. It depends on your operation, what you're looking for. Anyway, that's what we did, but the way that John Deere structures these leases has significantly changed. Interest rates have changed, so I don't think the leases are going to be near as attractive as they were. Just for an example, what used to be a $30,000 400 horsepower tractor is now a $70,000 400 horsepower tractor for a lease. So we're not getting rid of all of our leases. I'm not going to just end and terminate everything, but select things. I'm simplifying the operation. One of the things to simplify was to just get into all row crop rotation, and we may end up doing some small grains at some point, but just to get into a crop rotation. We eliminated another line of equipment, which was the hay tools. So that was step one, and step two is just have some of our own equipment that's not leased. Not all, again, not all of it. Some will be, but just a lesser amount. And this combine was a great opportunity to purchase. It was the right price, the right machine, the right options. So that's what I did. And this combine did need some work. That's one of the reasons I was able to get it at a reasonable price. And again, we'll talk about this combine in a separate video. But we did a lot of work to it this summer, and I'm very happy with it. This field right in front of me, the terrace tile, that's the video that if you guys watch on a regular basis, I ran the tractor on and built terraces on. And it came out real nice, and the erosion's under control, and we got a pretty decent looking crop of soybeans here, considering that the ground still needs the improvements, adjustments, things like that, but it was nice to get a crop established on. So those are the things that we're doing, and that's hopefully a little bit of an explanation as to why. And with this little bit of simplified approach, we're going to actually, well, maybe 5, but probably going to be more like 4 tractors is all I'm really going to need. And ultimately, the operation is me. I do most of it. My father is 80 years old, and his abilities to help are, well, he's 80. So he does good what he can do, but run the equipment, everything's down to me. So that's the adjustments I'm trying to make. And as far as hay, it's a real washout. You know, you can make a little more sometimes, make a little less other times. Marketing, it's a lot tougher because you don't have an ethanol plant where you just drive through and hit the button out the window and get your check in the mail. Although that check's meaningless, it's all about margins. So I just think it's going to be easier trying to stay in all row crop, and I'm trying to expand acres. Recently put a bid on a couple farms. The one I did not get was an auction. Somebody had 1031 money. And we'll talk about maybe that on a different video. But so it's been a little bit difficult to expand, but that's the direction that things are going. And my kids are in a time of their life where they like to play and have a need for their dad finally. I mean, they're past that baby stage where they are growing up and need role models and people spend time with them, teach them things. So that's what I focus my energy on. This is the last of our soybeans for 2024, unless custom work comes along. But this 70 acres is the last of it here. This is some steeper ground that we ended up taking about 100 acres of corn off around it to gain access to it. And yes, we did have access to it, but not direct line. We're literally right from the farm. So just the way it was planted, worked out good to take the corn off. Harvest 2024 has been extremely dry, the driest I've ever seen. Started in September with green stem soybeans that had dry pods, and it just never rained, and they've just gotten drier and drier since. The corn, I mean, we're upper 80s today, in the middle of October. The corn is coming off at 14 to 15%. It goes directly in the grain bin, put a little cool air on it, no drying costs. On soybeans, I'm not sure, but for corn, I'm pretty sure we'll knock off the records. How are the crops in your area? What kind of spring do you guys have? Here, spring started off a bit odd. It was cool and dry. We didn't know if we should be going. Some guys already were. Just a little sketchy on the weather, but it probably was optimal. We began planting, and as it worked out, the early planted stuff was the best. We didn't get 100% done, and these beans here are a prime example of that. These are planted later into June. So there was just a big hiatus through spring. It was either you go early and had it all done, or you got rained out and you finished up much later. And these soybeans right here were an example of the much later planted soybeans, which definitely are less yield than the earlier planted soybeans. Because once the later planted soybeans went in, the rains kind of stopped. But that's just for our farm in our area of Iowa. Always great to hear what others are experiencing across the United States on their farm, what kind of year they've had. You guys want to take a look at this thing? It's a 2011 9870 710 70R38 custom dual. We did put all the LED lights on it, conversion. It's got the optional 26-foot auger. Put a Demco 120 tip up, 28L 26 rears. We put the Lamb Coda hitch in the back. Power cast tailboard. In the cab here we have our sun visor, 4640 monitor. We have phone holder, Bluetooth. Back on corn. Beans are finished, and we saved the worst beans for last. Incidentally, the worst ones was the ones I showed in the video. That ground will continuously need to be improved. This particular farm right here is about 45 acres in this bowl. And if you look clear back into the video archive of about 2013, that's when we fixed this farm up. Dumping. This corn head here is a 2016 John Deere 612C. This head is a head we purchased at an auction, and we're able to fix it up. Got a really good deal on this head. Has a Yetter Devastator system on there, which we'll zoom in on right underneath there. And put the Romax kit. It is a Stockmaster head. It does a very nice job of chewing everything up. Real happy with it. Oh, and the end snouts are a little shorter because that's a kit from John Deere. It makes it go around the corners better. I know I'm going to get the question about 1,000,000 times. Why a 9870? Where did it come from? I thought you guys had one. We did actually have a 9870, and it's in some video archives. That particular 9870 was purchased out of Texas, brought up here, and I had a chance, because of the low interest rate deals, to lease an S680 John Deere, and we were actually able to flip that 9870 for a profit. Now, I'm not in the buying and selling business at all. I'm not a dealer. However, if I do find something that I like and I think I can make money on, or something I can use and then sell, and then only maybe sell it for a little tiny less, a bit less than I paid, that's what we'll do. And that's something I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of going forward. We're trying to get away from, because it just takes a lot of time and effort. But it's something that has worked for our operation. And for example, a couple of combines we bought, including that particular 9870, we bought it, turned it for a profit, but we did not get a season out of it. Now that another combine that was featured this channel, we did buy, or did run this season, and did make money on it. Now this particular 9870 is from Indiana, very well kept machine, a lot of work done to it, and we did a tremendous amount of work to it this summer, which I didn't film. I did keep some pictures and things, and we'll probably talk about this particular combine, the things I did to it, the things I think to make a John Deere combine better in the future. Now, somebody's going to ask me, why don't you get it cleaner? Why don't you get a case? Why don't you get blah, blah, blah? We have a lot of John Deere dealerships near us. We have a little less case dealerships to us. Only a couple New Holland dealerships, almost no others. I mean, they're 50 miles at a minimum one direction to get cloths or cleaner parts. The resale's not as big on those machines, especially in our area. I just don't particularly like them. I don't want to have to go a long distance for parts. I don't want to be limited and have a specific machine. I just want to stick with a main color machine. I do think the Case IH is a little bit better design than the John Deere, but the John Deere is heavier than the Case. Heavy duty, I should say. It's a little bit better internally built. They just seem like shafts and bearings are a little bigger. But like any piece of equipment, there's pros and cons to any brand out there. Hopefully that offers a broad scope into why what we did, and maybe some answers some questions from the past. I would like to update to a Draper at some point, either a John Deere or MacDon. But with the budgets, things the way they are right now, I don't think that's going to happen anytime real soon. You never know. The right deal comes along. But overall, I'm real happy with the combine and corn head. The auger head is a good head for what it is. It's just maybe something, again, that we'll update down the road. And we can talk about header and header compatibility in a later video. Now, as far as the 70 series combine, I absolutely love the layout. You got your corner post where everything stays. Nothing moves in that corner post. And you have your little information center down here. Yes, it is the older cab. The only thing that I've really been lacking is the refrigerator. Very windy today. This is what we use to mow with now. This is an RC7M and then the FC15M. I did keep the disc mowers for the roadsides. And we'll do a separate video on all these things, but here's a new water tender. We did get a brand new sprayer. Now, a lot of you guys keep asking, so we're gonna take a look. Here's the planter that I built. It's still here, it's all done, ready to roll. No, it's not been in the field yet, but everything's been tested in a dry run. Works good. We will likely have it in the field here spring of 25. So far, it's just been doing nothing but collecting dust. I know a lot of you guys liked it and wanted to see it since it was completed, so here it is. We'll stay tuned for more videos of it in action at some point. Oh, what do we have here? Interesting and pretty cool. At some point I will do separate videos on everything you just saw. As far as a new sprayer, I really think, at least maybe for me, I really think that good application and planting equipment is key, whereas you can have older equipment as long as the combine works. You don't want something that breaks down, but as long as it works efficiently, it's okay to be older. Sprayers, it's just difficult to get the newer technologies such as the Exact Apply, which that has, into an older machine, although they are some companies now that are building some kits, things that you can add on to an older sprayer. But I think it's imperative to have good operating application and planting equipment, especially a planter. You got one shot to put this crop in the ground and you don't want to screw it up. Hopefully I can get back into the swing of making videos. This one was short without a lot of editing. It's great to be able to talk to you guys again. I know a lot of you wonder where I've been. And again, when the video started, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me in person. The best way to do that is just via my email, or a few of you even message me in person on Messenger. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again.